These 4 drugs are among the most dangerous in the world. Let's discover how they affect the human body and why they are so deadly. First, fentanyl. What if something smaller than a grain of salt could end a person's life? This is fentanyl. Fentanyl was created to help patients with severe pain after surgery or serious illnesses. But outside the hospital, fentanyl became one of the deadliest drugs in the world. It is much stronger than heroin and morphine. That's why even a tiny amount can be extremely dangerous. After entering the body, fentanyl quickly reaches the brain and slows down breathing. As breathing slows, less oxygen reaches the brain. Within minutes, a person can lose consciousness. Without immediate medical treatment, breathing may stop completely. Even survivors can suffer permanent brain damage because of oxygen loss. Over time, the brain becomes dependent on the drug, making addiction very difficult to overcome. The body quickly builds tolerance, meaning higher amounts are needed for the same effect. This greatly increases the risk of a deadly overdose. Many people struggle with anxiety, depression, and emotional changes. Sometimes fentanyl is mixed into other illegal drugs without people knowing. That's why some overdoses happen unexpectedly. Doctors and emergency teams work every day to save lives. Learning about drugs is one of the best ways to prevent addiction. Every smart decision can protect a life, maybe even someone you love. Knowing the dangers of fentanyl could save a life. Share this message and help spread awareness. Secondly, carfentanil. This is carfentanil, one of the world's most powerful opioids. Carfentanil was originally developed for veterinary medicine to sedate very large animals such as elephants. It is far too powerful for routine human use and can be extremely dangerous. Once it enters the body, it quickly reaches the brain and affects the parts that control breathing and other vital functions. As breathing slows down, less oxygen reaches the brain. This can quickly become a medical emergency. Without immediate medical treatment, the lack of oxygen can seriously damage the brain and other vital organs. Over time, the body develops tolerance. This means larger amounts are needed to produce the same effects, increasing the risk of overdose. Carfentanil can also affect memory, concentration, judgment, and emotional control, making everyday life much more difficult. Addiction does not only affect one person. It can also damage families, friendships, careers, and entire communities. One of the greatest dangers is that some illegal drugs may contain carfentanil without the user ever knowing it. Every day, doctors, nurses, and emergency responders work together to save lives and reduce the number of overdose deaths. Learning the facts about dangerous drugs is one of the most effective ways to prevent addiction before it begins. Awareness helps people make safer choices and protects families, friends, and future generations. Thirdly, methamphetamine. This is methamphetamine, also known as crystal meth. It is one of the most addictive stimulant drugs in the world, and it can have devastating effects on both the brain and the body. Methamphetamine is a powerful stimulant that dramatically speeds up activity in the brain and throughout the body, placing enormous stress on the nervous and cardiovascular systems. Once it enters the body, methamphetamine quickly reaches the brain and triggers a massive release of dopamine, the chemical responsible for feelings of pleasure and reward. This sudden surge can make a person feel energetic, alert, and unusually confident for a short time. But as the effect fades, the brain struggles to return to normal, leaving the person feeling exhausted and emotionally drained. Repeated use forces the brain to depend on the drug to produce dopamine, making addiction develop rapidly. Repeated use forces the brain to depend on the drug to produce dopamine, making addiction develop rapidly. Many people also experience anxiety, mood swings, and serious mental health problems. Methamphetamine doesn't only affect the brain. It also puts heavy stress on the heart and blood vessels. The heart beats faster, blood pressure rises, and the risk of serious medical complications increases. Long-term use can damage important organs including the brain, heart, kidneys, and liver. As the body becomes more dependent, everyday life becomes harder without the drug. Addiction can affect families, friendships, education, work, and future opportunities. Recovery is possible, but it often requires professional treatment, support, and time. Doctors and healthcare professionals help people manage addiction and rebuild their lives. Fourth, Desomorphine, or what is called Krokodil. Krokodil, also known as desomorphine, is considered one of the most dangerous illegal opioids ever known. Its name comes from the severe skin damage that has been associated with some people who used illegally produced versions of the drug. Unlike medicines made under strict medical standards, illegal forms may contain toxic chemicals that can seriously harm the body. As these substances spread through the bloodstream, they may damage blood vessels, reduce blood flow, and injure healthy tissue. Without enough blood and oxygen, tissues can become severely damaged, and if left untreated, serious infections may develop. In some cases, the damage can become permanent, making everyday activities such as walking or using the hands much more difficult. Long-term use can also affect the brain and nervous system, leading to dependence and addiction. Over time, memory, concentration, judgment, and emotional control may become weaker, making normal daily life increasingly difficult. Addiction doesn't only affect the individual, it can also destroy families, friendships, careers, and future opportunities. One of the greatest dangers is that many people may not realize how harmful these illegal substances are until serious damage has already occurred. This is why education and awareness are so important. Doctors, nurses, and emergency responders continue working every day to reduce harm. They provide treatment and work hard to save lives. Understanding the dangers of Krokodil can help people make safer choices. It also helps protect families and calm